Yes guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Premier League Gazette here on AdamMcKola TV. We are back, it's Monday, we've got the newspapers, we're going to go through them after a weekend of no action yet again. No football, no sport, no nothing. We've all been locked inside our houses, or at least we should have been locked inside our houses. Much like Jack Grealish, who is on the road, out and about, hitting into cars. This is the back page of the Daily Mail, and Jack Grealish has had a car crash mystery. Now he's been pictured out and about in Birmingham with his car, which has been crashed and has hit into vehicles. Now whether he was driving or not remains to be seen. It's definitely his car. It's a car that he's been pictured with in the past. The car definitely hit other cars. That's something that happened. And he definitely posted a video out saying, stay home, stay safe, and help the NHS, which he immediately went against himself, which doesn't ring good for Jack Grealish. Now, especially with him being linked with big money moves to the likes of Manchester United, after a pretty good season for Aston Villa, that at this time isn't over yet. He's an idiot for getting involved in these situations. Whether he was driving or not, he shouldn't have been out. He looked a little bit intoxicated, obviously. I can't say whether he was or not. I wasn't there. I don't know for facts. But if he's been drinking and he's been driving and he's been crashing when times where he should be quarantining, he's an absolute idiot. And after all the hard work he's been doing, after all the battling he's been doing to get back, I'd be disappointed in that. I really wanted this guy to sign for Manchester United. I still kind of want this guy to sign for Man United. But these kind of things are going to stop that from happening. It's going to stop the big money, the big moves, the big players coming in for you. And you might just end up staying at Aston Villa all the time. Now that's not a bad thing for him, is it? You know, he come through the Villa ranks. But if you want to step up, if you want to move on, you've got to stop doing idiot things like this. And I just don't get it. Like, why would you be involved in those situations when, you've got your head down, you've worked hard. Now you're in a position where potentially some big moves, you could be playing for England, and you go and do this. It's just really stupid and really disappointing from him. Harry Kane's in a lot of the back pages, and on the back page of the Mail, they're going, we call it off, as he says the Premier League season should be finished if they can't do it by June. And I totally agree with him. If we can't get this done by June, what is the point in carrying on? What is the point in carrying on? Dragging it on till July, August, September, then what? Have a knock-on effect in the next campaign? How many seasons do you want to ruin with this thing? It just doesn't make sense for me. They're talking about like a World Cup style hotel quarantine tournament style thing where all the football clubs go to one or two places, it's quarantined off. But then you got to think, you've got to have TV companies in there, you've got to have caterers in there, you've got to have medics in there, you've got to, can they do all of that and guarantee it's going to be locked off quarantine, no one's going to get it and it's not going to be passed around in there? Or can you do that and guarantee that no one's going to get injured and you're not going to have to take up a hospital bed or hospital time or ambulance time? Because games need those things to go ahead. How can you guarantee no fans are going to turn up outside grounds? You can't. It just doesn't look like we're going to get any football soon. It really doesn't look like we're going to get any football. Harry Kane again in this, talking about beating Wayne Rooney's England record. He's 21 goals away from it. 21 goals. And if he gets that, he'll be England's greatest goal scorer. He probably will get that, to be totally honest with you, 21 goals, barring a massive injury. But that's not the only things he's been on the back pages for. He's been on the back pages for other things as well today. And it all came from that interview. And there's one, Thierry Harry. Now, it's a surprise the Daily Mail haven't gone with the big story that came out of his interview, which was that he is open to a possible move from Spurs. Now, he didn't hint at a summer move. He did hint at being there for the next season and saying, if things don't improve, if we don't go on the up, I'm going to have to consider leaving. He said, I always said if I don't feel progression in the team or if it's not going right, then I'm not someone to just stay here for the sake of it. And that will be music to the ears of the likes of Manchester United and Real Madrid. But like I said, that isn't in consideration right now. Even for United, like you look at United right here as well, on the bottom of the Daily Star, it's got something about Saul Niguez. Now, we did this in today's United Daily, so I won't speak about it too much. But 135 million for Saul Niguez. We're linked with Jadon Sancho for 120 million. How much would Harry Kane cost? You know, a lot of these stories that are going around, there's nothing in them. There's not a lot going on at this moment in time. Like, you've got stories in here on coronavirus chaos and Carmageddon and players having to sell cars and lower wages and all that kind of stuff, as the Gillingham chairman comes out and says that, you know, the Premier League bubble will burst as a result of this. But I mean, even in the papers, they're looking at Eric Cantona's kung fu kick again that night at Selhurst Park. And it shows you how much they are struggling for stories at this moment in time. Really struggling for stories, because, you know, it's dead. There's no sport happening. There's nothing to react to. So they've almost got to make up whatever they can. Now we move on to the Mirror here. Again, they've got something on the day that rocked United to its core about Eric Cantona. Premier in here, which is a new plan to get the campaign finished. Premier in. Prem stars may be forced into quarantine hotels for a month to get the season started again. Premier League stars could be put under a strict quarantine lockdown in hotels for a month. How do you pull that off? You cannot pull it off. You will not be. I can't see that happening. I genuinely can't. Again, on the back, pay cuts or job cuts. They're saying it's from that Gillingham chairman's interview again, Paul Scally, and they're saying you're going to need to take pay cuts or job cuts. And when you look at that, when you look at the impact that the coronavirus especially has had in Spain and in Italy, it's even more reason why Paul Pogba's move will probably not go ahead this summer, and he'll most likely be a Manchester United player for the next season, which I'm not against at all. But even that puts into question Jack Grealish's potential move to Manchester United, doesn't it? If we do keep Paul Pogba. So if he's then being an absolute bellend on the pitch, off the pitch, then that's not going to help him even further. Now, Robbie's also on the back page, Arsenal Fan TV's Robbie is on the back page talking about racism has stolen the joy of going to a game with Dad. I'll tell him I'll take you, but he just says nah. And that is a sad state of affairs when obviously his dad has grown up in a time in football where things were a lot worse and racism was a lot more rife. I'm not saying that it isn't now, because it clearly is, and there is issues there. But just interesting to hear that story. Obviously disappointing to hear about his father not being able to go to games. It'd be nice if we could take him. And there's no place for racism in any space of the sport. And he goes on to say, Robbie, he's talked about Arsenal Fan TV and things as well. He says, we are bound to get negative comments. It's football, I don't mind. But it's the racial abuse I find hard to believe. Now, I know racial abuse exists at football, and I can't say what he's personally experienced. But from what I see, a lot of the abuse they get for the job that they do, not Robbie himself or his dad, or not talking about their experiences, but I mean like that bellend, what's his name, DJ, getting abuse because he's an idiot and he goes onto camera just looking for a fight, and you give this platform for this toxicity, you're going to get fans that are going to turn against you. I get called names at times because we're recording outside stadiums. That's fine. I expect it. When you hold up a camera and you stand in front of a camera, you're going to expect a little bit of jib. And Robbie's not saying that's not the case. He expects a little bit. Like he says, I don't mind negative comments. It's football. Racial abuse is a step over the line. Of course it is. Of course it is. But then I think you are going to get abuse, not racial abuse. There's no excuse for it. If you've got bellends like him on your channel, just being toxic every single week, you're gonna draw abuse from Arsenal fans. And that's why I don't think the Arsenal fans' abuse of them has been racial, has it? It hasn't been. It's been because they deem them to be embarrassing their club. Again, that's stupid because I mean, you can't stop people's opinions. You can't stop people having an opinion. You know what I mean? But when you act toxic, you're gonna attract toxicity back to you. It's almost to be expected when you act like that much of a bellend. Not that Robbie does, but some of the people that he interviews definitely does. Not Troops though. I love Troops. Troops is a legend. Here's Sam Quick at it again. Don't make the 2021 games a pale imitation. But she wants to make the next season of the Premier League a pale imitation just to award the league and the trophy to her beloved Liverpool. Oh, piss off, get off this. Why is she even in the football pages? I don't get it. Guys, that has been it on the Premier League Gazette. We've spoken about Harry Kane, Saul Niguez, Jack Grealish. Loads of good stuff there. Let us know your thoughts on all of that. When will this season start again? Can they do a quarantined Premier League? Can they lock it all off and get the football completed? I genuinely have my doubts about that one. But let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Keep your thoughts coming. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Remember, you can join now as well. Keep it locked to AdamMcKola TV. But for now, I've been AdamMcKola. I'm out of here.